Yo, what's going on, everybody? So today I'm gonna make a very unpopular opinion video, which I really feel as if this is gonna be an unpopular opinion video based on responses I've got when I've mentioned this in passing on a few other videos, which is I really feel as if Madara Uchiha should have been the final villain for the Naruto series over Kaguya Sasuke, and in fact I don't think Kaguya ever should have happened. I've said this a few times. I absolutely hate Kaguya, and for this video I'm gonna do my best to keep my hatred for the character at bay. I'm gonna do my best. I'm not gonna make any promises, so if you can't tell already, this is gonna be an opinion video. Now when it comes to Kaguya, I'll probably make a separate video as to why I cannot stand her character, even with the anime filler that's used to explain her motives and her backstory. I don't care for Kaguya. However, when you go back and you look at the Naruto series, the build up for Madara Uchiha was absolutely insane. Like, we got build up for Madara going as far back as volume 27 of the Naruto manga. For those of you who are unaware of this, volume 27 is the volume where Naruto begins to fight Sasuke. So the fact that we have that level of build up that far in advance, literally what I believe over 300 chapters before Madara finally debuts in chapter 559. The fact that that happened is absolutely insane, that there's that much buildup. Now, the other part of the reason why I feel as if Madara had the makings of a final villain, let's just look at what makes Madara so epic as a villain. He definitely has the personality, he has the swagger, if you want to use that term. Madara also has the impact. Like, I remember when Madara first debuted in 2011, when he came out the coffin, right? When he came out the coffin, the Naruto fandom went absolutely berserk. Like, we had all these theories about who was actually in the sixth coffin. We had all these theories about it, right? And when that happened and Madara, the first thing he does is unleash a fire style jutsu that is so powerful it takes most of the Shinobi Alliance using a water style attack to dodge it and block it. That says something about his power. I know somebody's like, well, Madara used taijutsu first. That's anime first. Like, that's in the anime. In the anime, they change things up. In the manga, Madara uses the majestic flamethrower jutsu, and it takes a crap ton of Shinobi to block the attack, and then Madara just begins to go through and foderize the Shinobi Alliance using taijutsu. And as we all know, Gaara and Naruto step in, but even then, this dude was shaking off Naruto's attacks, and then he whipped out the Rinnegan. Like, Madara had a huge impact very early on, and you legitimately had people such as myself who, when Madara, every time he showed up, those were some of the highest rated chapters, because people like myself were going absolutely crazy. When you go back and you look at the chapter rankings after the Naruto chapters came out, the chapters where Madara showed up and did something, those were the higher rated chapters. And I've told you guys before, I'm not a huge fan of the Naruto war arc, but for me, the war arc of the story really started when Madara started getting involved. And what makes this so crazy is when you had the 5 Kage battle, we had Madara single-handedly taking on the 5 Kage. When this dude just uses all these perfect Susanos and he's just fighting the 5 Kage, when he says, hey, you guys think it's fair you can gang up on me 5-on-1? Well, let me see how you guys do 5-on-1. And he proceeds to create 5 wood clones for each of the 5 Kage, and they all have a perfect Susanoo. Like, that is nuts. And he's just casually sitting back watching the fight take place. And what's so beautiful about this is when you get Obito's reveal, one of the things that happens is you find out that Madara was masterminding everything. So right there, you have some of the requirements for a final villain. You have the gradual build up, how the entire Shinobi Alliance was shaking over Madara Uchiha. You had the bait and switch where we all thought the masked man was actually Madara, though there are a lot of theories saying he was Izuna Uchiha. We had theories thinking that he was Sasuke from the future, which that's an actual theory. Like, this is what's absolutely nuts, right? You had the bait and switch, you had the epic show off, you had the masterminding ability, but then he was also humanized when you got Hashirama Senju's flashback. And now all of a sudden, Madara's whole thing about the perfect world, about there being a world of winners and losers and how he's going to do do away with all of it. Madara was humanized, and so now it went from he's this big overbearing person, this big overbearing presence, to being this powerhouse, to all of a sudden we've gotten the layers peeled back on him, and now he's a sympathetic character. And at the same time, he's a heavily conflicted character. He's a character who wants peace, but he's going about it the wrong way. Like literally, when you start looking at the hero's journey, right? Madara Uchiha is a prime example of what happens when the hero, when he has this call to adventure and he refuses the call to action. This is Madara going down the path of the tyrant, which I'm gonna remake those videos where I had the hero's journey and the path of the tyrant, so stay tuned for those. But this is what's crazy. You see it in the embodiment with Madara, and then when Madara is fighting against Naruto with all of his power, he's just fodderizing Naruto, and then once he gets the Rinnegan, when he gets both Rinnegan, he does what Obito couldn't do. He does what the Akatsuki couldn't do. He seals all 9 Biju, and he does it effortlessly. And keep in mind, this is after this dude was fighting severely nerfed, because for as powerful as Edo Tensei Madara was, and even with the enhancements that Madara had using the Rinnegan and the Hashirama cells, even Hashirama said himself that the version of Madara they were fighting wasn't Madara at his full power, and even Madara acknowledged it. And so once he came back to life with his own power, he absorbs Hashirama's Sage Mode, but with his own power, the dude was holding his own against the Biju, and even when he got slapped around, he was really just doing it to test out his own vessel, to test out the limits of his alive body. I mean, Madara blind took out Sasuke and Sai and Naruto. He had Sasuke bleeding out, ready to die. Sasuke was going through his midlife crisis, wondering was he actually going to be able to show people what a true Hokage was, whether or not Itachi's dream was going to be left in vain. Sasuke had his whole monologue. Naruto had the Kyuubi ripped and out of him. Sakura literally had to cut Naruto's chest open, grab Naruto's heart, and pump chakra into his heart in order to keep Naruto alive. Because as stated in the manga, Naruto had no heartbeat, no beating, no breathing, nothing. Naruto was dead in that moment, and Sakura managed to keep him alive, restart his heart and keep him alive. So Madara did heavy damage. And the fact that this dude actually launched the Infinite Tsukiyomi, the whole thing, they fight an entire war to stop. This dude actually accomplished his goal. That right there, that is setting the stage for a final villain. That sets the stage for it. And what's so crazy about this, right? If you go back and you look at the Naruto series, screw the anime. I know a lot of you guys are anime only viewers, so I'm gonna say very respectfully, screw the anime, forget everything you know about the anime. When Kaguya replaced Madara as the final villain, Kaguya was literally around for a volume, maybe a volume and a half. Kaguya was taking out the story very quickly. That's why I keep saying over and over, Kaguya, there was no reason for her to be a character. When she first got mentioned by Madara, everyone said, what the hell is Kishimoto talking about? A rabbit goddess. Where is this coming from? When he has that dialogue with Hashirama Senju talking about the origin of chakra, everyone, and you can go check the reviews of your favorite YouTubers. I'll throw some of them out because before I even made this channel, I was following guys like Sawyer 7 Mage and King of Lightning and watching the Naruto reviews and writing like hundreds of essays on my old account. So I mean, you can go and check those. A lot of people are like, what the hell is going on? Where did this come from? If you check Naruto base, if you check Naruto forums, if you check any of the anime forums, like I don't know if Manga Panda's, not Manga Panda, Manga Fox's forums are still up, but people back then, everyone was like, what the hell, where did this come from? You could have taken that out and the story wouldn't have changed. Literally, the story wouldn't have changed if Madara never brought up Kaguya and you just had a little bit of the backstory given by the Sage of Six Paths and basically saying like, yeah, Madara's inherited my mother's will. You guys need to seal this dude up. Literally, you could have gone that route and it wouldn't have changed the story. And when it comes to Kaguya, like, let's just look at it from this perspective, right? Like Masashi Kishimoto said it himself. He had made Madara too powerful, and that at this point in the story, he said that a lot of characters have weaknesses, but as Madara is right now, Madara doesn't have weaknesses, and he said he had to meet with his editor while the manga was on break to come up with a way to defeat Madara, and the answer for it was to have Zetsu betray him. The answer for it was to replace Madara with a stronger character who conveniently could be sealed away by Naruto and Sasuke. That's literally the only reason that Kaguya was brought into the story. That's why why it took years after the manga ended for them to come up with a backstory in order to explain it, because when Naruto the Last came out, there was no explanation for Kaguya, who she was building the army for. When Boruto the movie came out, it's like, oh, she's got Momoshiki and Kinshiki, but even then, there was no explanation as to what their motives really were. I don't care about what the Boruto anime did. I'm talking in the timeline as information actually came out. It took several years for them to come out with a way to make Kaguya very sympathetic. You didn't have to do that with Madara. All that stuff was already there. It was already set in motion. Literally, this is like an alley-oop. And instead of going through with the slam dunk, Kishimoto goes up for the alley-oop and says, hey, I'm gonna pass the ball back out mid-air and see if I can come up with the flashier play. Keep it simple, stupid, kiss. That's all they had to do with this. Now, the other thing that I really feel as if needs to be said about Madara is it would have made a lot of sense if Naruto and Sasuke were teaming up to take down what Sasuke referred to as a relic from the past. This could have been a good way to actually show that the previous generation surpasses the last. Madara was, by the author's own admission, seen as someone too powerful to be defeated. And the fact that Naruto and Sasuke managed to work together to bring him down, that fits the classic trope of Naruto. The whole theme of the series about the next generation surpassing the last. That would be absolutely beautiful if that would have happened. Hell, you could have given Madara all of Kaguya's abilities and made him that much more formidable, because again, Kaguya wasn't needed. So you could have given him all of Kaguya's abilities and made Madara absolutely busted, made Naruto and Sasuke struggle during that time period, and it would have made things that much more earned when they actually took him down, if they managed to seal him away and Team 7 worked in coordination. If you had that moment where Obito was fighting alongside Kakashi and trying to help take down the strongest version of Madara in conjunction with the new generation, all that could have been used. All of that could have been used. It could have been something that was absolutely beautiful, and yet Kishimoto dropped the ball on it. He dropped the ball on it, and don't get me started on the Naruto versus Sasuke final fight, because just to put this in perspective for you, the manga version was nowhere near what you got in the anime. The manga was a whole bunch of big Biju bombs and Shidoris and all these lightning release attacks and a whole bunch of explosions. There wasn't no taijutsu, it wasn't no long drawn out talk no jutsu sequence and sad puppy dog eyes like how Naruto's looking at Sasuke when they were fighting. It was just a bunch of explosions, and then they did a little taijutsu, Angel's Arrow happened, and then they went through that drawn out period where they're punching each other and falling over, and then they blew off their arms. So it was very disappointing after years worth of build-up, but it's so fitting given the fact that Madara himself at the end of the story was absolutely cucked. Just say it for what it is, he was cucked. Now I know somebody's gonna say you're coming off like a butthurt Madara fanboy, so I'm gonna ask you guys this. If you had to take the manga version of Kaguya and what you got with Madara, can you honestly tell me that Kaguya was a better villain than Madara? Hell, I'll even let you throw Black Zetsu in there, because again, that was once all that happened, people were legitimately saying Kishimoto doesn't give a F anymore, and people were saying, well, I know the manga's ending soon, so screw it, I'm just gonna go ahead and finish it. This was absolutely horrible, but I think a lot of the problems with the ending of the ending of Naruto could have been fixed if Madara would have been the final villain and continued to be this over-dominating presence, and they had to struggle to overcome him. But I want to know down in the comment section below what you guys think. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an incredible day, guys.